Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit your notification bell for all new videos. Today we're going to talk about the basic needs that I feel a person needs in any relationship when it comes to friendship, family, and spouse. A lot of these things that I discuss on my channel is really a general topic for all relationships around board and just the experiences I learned through all the relationships that I endured in my 20s and even from youth that I had to discard of and not even discard of, but also take lessons along with it that has made my future relationships in my 30s now better. And I feel like it's also going to project a way much better relationship down the line. So here are some basic needs. Let's get right in. Now, I have a list here, you guys. This one's actually pretty lengthy, so I'm going to read them out and then we'll just dive into each one a little bit individually with a little bit of background as to my experience in those and how it affected me in my relationships. And then also I have some scriptures here because I want to tell you that when you lack these needs, you start to have these emotions, and these emotions can affect your body, from the inside out. And I go to these scriptures when I feel these emotions, and I feel like once I go get to these scriptures, I pray on these scriptures and get understanding and just peace on how to move forward. Even if it's strategy, removing, conversating, whatever the move forward is that God has spoken to me is how I move forward. So let's start with the 14. Basic needs you need in any relationship. Number one is safety. You need to feel safe with this person. You need security. You need to be secure in the relationship that you have with them, whether it's friendship, family, or a spouse. You need to be secure that both of you understand the relationship. Okay. Number three is stability. It needs to be a stable environment, which means that there's no in and out, no inconsistencies, no back and forth, no I'm done with this, no running away. It's literally a stable environment, knowing that both parties are committed and in. This is being heard. Heard is the fourth one. It's really important to be heard because not only do you need to be heard, but you need to hear the other person, because you can't build a relationship with anyone without understanding who they are. And then comes number 5, which is understanding. You have to be more empathetic and understanding because you need that same in return. If you're being judgmental and you're being upset about something instead of understanding where that person could be coming from, then that's when the situation can become more of a conflict and confrontation instead of a good relationship. Now, number 6, I put notice. You need to be noticed in your relationship, which means being valued, which means being respected, and which also means I feel like when it comes to being noticed, it's more so like emotional empathy along with it, as well as just being vulnerable and engaged. Number 7 is supported. You need someone who's consistently supporting you, period. Regardless if they disagree or they don't understand, you need the support because not everyone's going to understand anything you're doing in your life, just like you won't understand them. And if you are trying to put your doubts and your worries onto someone else or take someone else's into yours, it's going to hinder you in your future. So support needs to be back and forth. It needs to be consistent, and it needs to be valid. And it needs to be sincere. Loved, you need to feel loved. Everyone needs love in their heart. They need to feel like this person truly loves them for who they are unconditionally, the flaws and the good. Space, everyone needs space. Everyone needs their me time, and then sometimes their space can be with a friend, or maybe it's a close relative or a mom or whatever the space is. You have to learn how to give people space from you. So if you are constantly, on someone and needing to be by someone, it can be very codependent and needy and can push people away. So definitely space. And then you need your own space too, because I learned that for me, I need space. There's just times where I like to literally just be alone and just in this like mindset of just by myself, nothing to worry about, no one else's thoughts, no one else's opinion, just me and silence. And sometimes I like to have space where I'm doing things that I enjoy as my passion. Like sometimes when I'm creating content or making butters, I don't want people by me because it distracts me from really focusing in and just hearing God's voice, as well as just feeling it, when you got somebody near you and you're trying to be creative, it kind of can be a distraction. Also, self-care. So this is more so of taking care of your body, your skin, your hygiene, your health, your mouth, your vagina, your butt. All these things you be taking care of on the outside of your body. You know, your strength, your, working out. All of this is self-care. Taking care of your hair, because appearance is important not only for the workplace, not only for a relationship. It's important to show up in the world as your best version. And if you're not trying to help yourself be the best version, how are you going to help somebody else be their best version? Okay? Prioritize. Organization, people. Prioritizing things in life that are important for the things that you can hold off on, even when it comes to shopping, when it comes to going out with friends, taking vacations. If you know right now you don't got the money and you know in your heart you want to go, all you can do is support from afar, okay? And just prioritizing also your daily tasks, because sometimes we get caught up on trying to head toward that big goal that seems real far away, that we don't focus on the small things, the intricate things that we can do in order to make that big goal. Like for me right now, I'll give an example. I'm really trying to, now that I've fixed my name and started over, I don't want any debt. So everything I'm trying to do is buy cash. So everything I'm doing is like a saving mechanism. And it's really hard for me. And I've had some slip ups and some bounce backs and, got a little bit of a shopping problem, but I'm working on it, okay, you guys? So me is money management right now. Money management is like what I'm really prioritizing, and then saving is really what I'm prioritizing, because I need a vehicle, you guys. Even though I have one now, I want another one, and I want it to be fully paid off. So it's just a little bit of a lot going on with prioritizing, but you definitely need to be prioritizing yourself and then prioritizing others as well. So when it comes to also prioritizing, because I got a little bit off on me and some other stuff, but when you're in a relationship and you're prioritizing, you need to make sure that you are prioritizing their needs and then your needs, and that you guys are having a middle ground, even with friendships, because sometimes some homegirls just want you to call and vent. Some homegirls want you to really come over and just sit down and keep company with them, or some people really need your intellect. They need some actual information to help them, not just you just sitting there looking pretty. And then honesty. You need to be honest with people. I should be able to express my true feelings with you. You should be able to express your true feelings with me, regardless of who might get upset or who might take things out of context. That's why I said maturity comes into this as well, and I had to develop this, is the calmness and then the patience of listening. That's how you can really take honesty, is by listening and just understanding and having patience and grace, because honesty is not going to always come off nice. So you have to understand that just because this person honesty may hurt or offend you, is how your behavior is afterwards that'll make the situation better. And even if you are upset, what I typically do now is just take it home and I pray about it, and I try to give my own self peace and understanding so I can move forward on what honesty was given. And then honestly, if it's something that like I need to change or that person needs to change or something we can't work out, then either we're parting ways or we're finding a way to move forward. Openness, being vulnerable, being true about who you are, your weaknesses, your life, your past history, what you're trying to do in your life as well. Because if you're not telling people your plans and your future, some people can think you don't have nothing going on. You're just sitting around, just sitting. And just being open also with just who you are as a woman, what you're representing in your values, what you want to bring to the table, and what you expect. Because some people come with less expectations than others. And for me, in the lifestyle I'm living, I am going to be having a little bit more expectations, because not only am I spiritually grounded, I'm also stable, and I'm also heading towards something that's greater than me. And I need someone who's comfortable with that open door, and open with that things might fluctuate, but I don't know how to really go with the openness. I think I got off the topic. But let's go back to the 14th one, which is loyalty. I don't even know what happened back there. But I think I went somewhere else, you guys. But loyalty is important. So for me, I found like loyalty was really important because I was showing a lot of loyalty to people and wasn't getting that reciprocated. So now when it comes to relationships, loyalty is important, because you have to be able to count on this person, know this person has your back, and know that even if you're doing wrong, they'll step up and speak their opinion, but they'll still support you and have your back regardless. And sometimes some people have to fall on their own to get back up, but you also need those friends who are going to tell you this is wrong, you need to do it this way, I think, but also I'm still going to be here, I'm still your friend, nothing has changed. Now, depending on what you're doing, if it's like unethical or like immoral, but I'm just talking about just the difference in opinions and people's ways of how they do things. Just having people to still be loyal to you regardless of anything and any obstacle, and always there. And just to know that you have an open ear and someone who actually has an open heart for you to do well and be great is an important thing to have in your life. I wanted to read the scriptures with you that I put, but I can't, so I'm just going to name them for you, and I advise you guys to go read them and just get some understanding. Really, when I put these scriptures in there, these scriptures are for you to read when you're feeling these kind of way and you need to seek God. You just get understanding that, number one, you're not the only one that's ever been through this. Number two, it's in the Bible. And number three, see how people responded to those when they went through it, and try those things when you're seeking God. So when you don't have your needs met and the basic needs, and you're in these relationships, you start to feel anxious, resentful, numb, overwhelmed, disconnected, distrustful, and stressed. And I've been in a scenario where I've been through all of those things, dealing with people when it comes to just not having that clarity, not having that safety, not being noticed, not having space, not being prioritized, not having honesty, and not having loyalty. So when I think about anxious, I go to Philippians 4:6. When I think about being resentful and I want that out of me, I go to 2 Timothy 2:24. When I start to feel numb in my feelings and try to ignore it, I go to Psalms 38:8 or Psalms 143:4. I really do that a lot with the numbing. So going to these scriptures is really important for me, because I've never always been engaged in my emotions. So I've always been the kind to avoid, run, hide, avoid. And to be honest, you guys, those scriptures have really just helped me better even in praying. Also overwhelmed you can get. I go to Psalms 55:5, and I go to Psalms 88:3. And then for me, sometimes I'll disconnect from people if I'm feeling like it's not working, I can't find another way. And anytime I get disconnected, that also tells me that I'm disconnected from myself and disconnected from God, because I'm allowing somebody to have me disconnect from myself. So I go to Ephesians 4:18-19, which really speaks to me and about how we should never disconnect, because we always need God near us. Even when people hurt us, we should not disconnect, because when we disconnect from ourselves, we're disconnected from God. And I'm not just saying disconnect from people, because sometimes people can hurt you to the point where you just disconnect completely. Like you're not trying to get involved with nothing. And then you have distrust, which I had a lot of, and now I typically go to Matthew 24:10 or Luke 11:35. And I chose these two scriptures when it comes to distrust, because our trust really needs to be within ourselves. And once we start trusting ourselves, we can navigate relationships and we can navigate people way better, that we won't start losing trust. And really, the distrust don't be for the other person. Most of the time, the distrust is within ourselves, because we'll say, how did we see? How did we know? How did we allow? Why did we do? And that's causing distrust in us, which also disconnects our spirit, disconnects us from God. So we have to always seek the word when we're going through these things. And stress is another one. Go to Proverbs 16:3. Don't let people stress you, especially when you have so much on your plate and you have things that are important and you have a priority list and you've established this priority, and then now this person is stepping over what you prioritize, don't care what you prioritize, or you're not a priority. Don't stress it, because that just means that that person is not for you and they're not valuing you. And when you start understanding that your value is more important than someone else's validation or what they want from you, then you'll understand that, okay, this person isn't valuing, I'm leaving. That's it. Isn't all that is to it, because there's nothing more to it. You've already established your value. You already established that you want these basic needs. And when people aren't meeting them and you're letting them mess with your emotions, you're letting them mess with your life. So I recommend looking at these scriptures. If you're feeling any of these anxious, resentful, numb, overwhelmed, disconnect, distrust, or stress, I'll also put them in the description below. And also I'll put in the 14 basic needs you need in any relationship, regardless of who it is, even with children, because all these things right here are important things to have to build a strong longevity bond that can last a lifetime. The reason why I say these are basic needs for all around the board is because every relationship can be severed and hindered. Every relationship can break and be bent. So if you are not giving these basic needs to others, and as well as requiring these basic needs, you will have a lot of relationships that will end, that will be traumatic, that will be terrible, and that will honestly hinder your soul. And the whole purpose is to keep your soul intact and with God. So anything that is going against these basic needs, or whatever your basic need is, remove it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit your notification bell, and you guys have a great day.